My name is André Tessier. I'm President and CEO of Delta Resources, and it's a pleasure to be here today to introduce you or update you on Delta. And Gwen, thanks very much for the opportunity to do so. Our typical forward-looking statement. Delta is a Canadian junior explorer. We explore in Ontario and in Quebec, but I will strictly be talking about our Delta 1 project in Ontario. We're trading under DLTA on the venture exchange. We've got 101 million shares outstanding, and our market cap is currently at about 15 million after Friday. The nice thing is we've got treasury of about $7.8 million. Now, I'm going to introduce you to our Delta 1 project, but before I do so, and Gwen alluded to it, I'm going to tackle the elephant in the room. Delta suffered a bit of a loss because of disappointment or disappointing results that really, to us, were not disappointing at all. So let me explain. You're looking at all of the drill holes that we had in May of this year. The discovery was made in October of 2022 and earned us the Discovery of the Year award in Ontario. Now, you're looking at a magnetic map. And in those magnetic maps, if you're not familiar with them, the warm colors are showing magnetic rocks, so mag highs, and the blue colors are showing mag lows. So let me explain how we were a bit of a victim of our own success. So in October, we published our discovery hole, and that we followed up with 50-meter step-outs that also intersected high-grade gold. Then we got a little bit bold, and we went 100-meter spacing at a time. So we drilled fences at 100-meter spacing, intersecting very wide zones at surface of 1.2 to 2 gram material. Now, we interpreted our result, and this is the mineralized zone because we did have some results to the west as well. It's at this point, it was 1.5 kilometers of strike length, and we could interpret a structure that was cutting the mineralization. So we drilled that little hole here that intersected 1.6 kilograms per ton over a meter, and another intersection, the same hole, at 700 grams per ton. So we continued drilling, obviously the deeper blue anomaly is a magnetic low that's even more intense, and the markets got incredibly excited about this, and so did we. This was a terrific target and still is, and let me explain why. So we drilled it, and we essentially extended the mineralization another 500 meters towards the east with these 100-meter step-out and shallow drill holes. And what really transpired is that the zone is still wide, still mineralized. The alteration corridor is still there and still needs to be explored over about a strike length of about 5 kilometers. So there you have it. The drop in share price actually created a terrific opportunity for new investors. Now, let's talk about the project. We're 50 kilometers west of Thunder Bay. The property is 100% owned by Delta. We own 107 square kilometers right on the Trans-Canada Highway. So if we look closer at the property, the deposit is right here, just south of the Trans-Canada Highway. In fact, we have to pretty much go about 5 meters away from the ditch to get our drills. Highway, of course, so close to infrastructure. There are 2 power lines on the property, and there's a third one that's planned by the Ontario government just north of the property. And one of their justification for it in their promo material is that Delta will be a mine that's going to need power in the future. So if they say so, I'll believe it. Geologically, we are in the Shabandowan Greenstone Belt, a greenstone belt not unlike any other greenstone belts in the Superior Province of Canada. We are covering 19 kilometers of the Shabandowan structural zone that bounds the belt to the north. There's lots of endowment in gold in the area, including the Moss Lake deposit that sits at 6 million ounces just to the west. Now I'm going to zoom in right onto the geology of the deposit. So To the north, and I'll be quick on that, to the north we have sediments of what they call Temiskaming type, often associated with gold deposits. And to the south, we have this complex zone about 500 meters wide that has sediments, mafic volcanics, ultramafic rocks, and all of this is cut by the pink dikes that you see there. Now, that whole corridor is about 500 meters wide, and we have now defined it over about 5 kilometers of strike length. We're only starting to scratch the surface on the remainder of the zone. So the mineralization is associated with these dikes, certainly spatially associated with the dikes. Now, the next slide is just going to show the exact same view. So we're looking down at the 3D model of the mineralization. And so what you see is we've got mineralization over about 1.8 kilometers, and now we've actually extended it about 500 meters extra east of the fault. The grade shells that you see here are 0.25 and 0.5, and it's just to show or illustrate what the deposit looks like. We're drilling right now. We've got about altogether on the property about 25,000 meters of drilling so far. So we're still scratching the surface. The zone is about anywhere between 10 and 100 meters of true width, and it dips very steeply towards the north. The next slide is going to show a longitudinal section, so you're looking towards the north, and with this new drilling, we are now defining these ore shoots within the mineralization, and some of these ore shoots are nice and high grade, and they're open at depth. Now, 0.25 and 0.5 grams per ton, not super exciting. So let's take a look at the eastern portion of the deposit. So it's close to 1 kilometer of strike length, extends from surface, very wide, to about 250 meters vertical. The ore shells here are 0.5 grams. So anything that would be above actually cut off grade. And the pink are stuff that's above 2 grams per ton gold. So these are the types of grades and widths that we're getting onto the deposit, and I'll let you look at them while I tell you. Really what we're looking is a proposition of a bulk mining open pit right next to the highway. In fact, we might have to move the highway with these really, really high grade sweeteners in there. We alluded to the 1.6 kilograms. There's also 130 grams, and we see some of that very often in the zone. I couldn't help myself. I had to show a few rock shots. These are, it's a stockwork type of mineralization. The veinlets are quartz, anchorite, albite, disseminated pyrite, and visible gold. And I've got 2 more rock shots to illustrate what we think are the major ingredients for giant ore deposits. So one is the alteration, and you see here the top is unaltered mafic volcanics, and as you get closer to the zone, you completely alter the rocks. So that's a first ingredient. The second ingredient is multiple phases of mineralization. And here, when we look at this, at the veinlets, we can see that we got one veinlet cross-cutting the other and another cross-cutting the both. We get 2, 3, 4, 5 pulses of mineralization. So the system was very long-lived and had a chance to get really, really big. So this is our value proposition. The location, unless we were downtown Thunder Bay, it doesn't really get any better. The project, we've got an amazing project that shows all the major ingredients for a major economic ore body. We've already outlined nearly 2.3 kilometers of mineralization. We still have 2.5 kilometers of structure to test. The timing, well, it couldn't be better for current investors. We're just completing a 20,000 meter drill program, and 26 drill holes are still pending. So we don't have the assay results will be published soon. We're sitting with $7.8 million in the treasury. So we've got the money to drill another 20,000 meters shortly. And then we've got the people. We've got an amazing team. I always think that the best quality of a CEO is to surround himself with smarter people than himself, and I think I was able to do that with our group, highly technical and highly experienced, both on the financial sector and in the geology and technical. So thanks very much. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer a little later in the Q&A period. Thank you.